6 games down. We got 2 more to go, and things just got interesting in that last one. I'm BaldyW, joined by Monster D-Face, and man, things are heating up at the top. It looked like he might run away with it, but all of a sudden, it's kind of close.
It just shows you that it doesn't matter how good you're doing, one game, and all of a sudden, it looks like the competition can be slipping away. You should have to look at your leaderboards, though, to kind of get us all caught up if you missed it. Like Balla said, this is the results after 6 games of competition.
61 points. We basically said that that's 2 games of buffer, and we have 2 games, Monster. So Frappi is in potential to take the lead over Arkham, and I know a lot of people are cheering for that because we do like a comeback story. We definitely like that. But Epic Whale is somebody in 3rd place who ended up falling there too, to the hands of basically a couple different people, but 2 guys who we thought would have another consistent performance. Arkham and Epic Whale both falling. What do you make of that?
I'm just saying, like, we don't see very often where a player in this kind of setting pulls 6 straight consistent games back to back. So what Arkham did for the start of this competition was ridiculous. And for Frappi to even stay close and even, mirror his points in some way, like he's about a game off, right? A great game off. That's still phenomenal in its own. Most of the times it only takes about 4 or 5 great games and you're the champion. But this time the threshold's been raised just a little bit for NA West, due to Arkham, due to Frappi, due to Epic Whale playing so exceptional right now.
Yeah, that's really important actually to note. I mean, we think back to Anaheim. Mr. Savage had a bad game when he was trying to rise to the top. He fell to Scented, if you remember, rotating through one of those when it looked like it might start to be a victory lap. He fell short, and maybe that's what that was for Arkham in that last one. Still accruing 20 points, mind you. It wasn't even like it was a complete toss of a game, but in any case, taking a look at Frappi, how he lands in the early game at the Fortilla. We saw a little bit of Fortilla action early, but since then it's kind of cooled off with a couple different players ending up taking this battle very seriously. One of those is Dubs, and he hasn't really found any footing at all.
It's kind of crazy that Frappi is landing here and finding this much success, considering how many Slayers are in the vicinity. And also, you just think how close he is to Arkham in the grand scale of things. Like, Arkham's just down the road, like a few islands down, he's kind of the neighbor to this area here, both of which are finding so much success is pretty admirable.
By the way, a little history lesson for a second here, because I don't think many people know much about Frappi, but he's been a mainstay since pretty much trios, and in some cases during the duo FNCS qualifiers, or not FNCS, World Cup qualifiers as well. We definitely saw his name and put a little bit of spotlight on him with certain broadcasts. But since then, he placed 2nd in FNCS squads with Thomas Macon and I believe 40R Storm. So he's been here before. He's been in this position. Now he just needs to close it out to gain himself a first major West tournament win. On the other side of things too, people are asking and saying like, oh, Arkham, like, he still has to do it in international competition. And I'm thinking to myself, scratching my head, Monster, because if I recall, he was the only NA East, or NA player in general, obviously he's West, to do anything at DreamHack Winter, a 6th place there. And people also forget that this guy placed 5th in the World Cup duos.
Yeah, exactly. He's a well-decorated player. He's been around for a while. He's always lived in the shadow of the West players, though, for whatever odd reason. It's been, the main spotlight's been on Epic Whale for the West, who's kind of held the torch, but Arkham's always been there, always at the top of the chain. I mean, you talk about what he does internationally. Think about it. 2 weeks ago, he took 1st place on Asia Trio Cash Cup. So you do that for what you will. I mean, he's doing it on Hyping. He's doing it on his home service. It doesn't matter. That's just who Arkham is out here slaying. As of late, he really has been on the top of his game.
I might be tripping here for a second, but is this Rickety Rig? Is Bumboy fighting Hazard right now at Rickety Rig, or is this a little further south? I think it is, so. No, actually, this is it. Where's Arkham? He's gone. No, okay,
yeah,
sorry, I'm mistaken. Yeah, I was wrong.
This is just
they all
West.
look the same.
No, but it is close. It is just West. When they were landing in, I was staring at that map to see if anyone has the guts to land on him and try to play spoiler. So yeah, this is still pretty close by, but I don't think it's going to conflict at all for Arkham. Looks like Arkham still hasn't been challenged not once yet in the server, not in the early game.
So how to move forward? Arkham obviously found success, and you actually pointed it out that catching the zones was counter to the strategy that we've seen him employ game after game, right? In the first 5 games, zone never favored him, and he was able to employ that edge map rotate that basically put him to safety in so long. So maybe that was a key to the setup. And as we went into the 6th game, he stayed at the rig for a long time because first zone was there, and then he had to make a straight white line rotate through 2nd just to get a decent position on that zone with the risks that were involved. Maybe that ended up costing him some materials. He was out of mats a little earlier, and then when somebody challenges you with no mats, you kind of have to make the 50-50 fight. So I could have had big potential. This time though, first zone, north again.
Uh-oh, Reach found someone, and oh my gosh, how is he not going to catch himself there? He's just going to fall straight down into the trap that is the Reach here with the Mythic Shock, and looks for the cone there. He's not going to find it. It's Decoy who's on the run right now. Reach just 5 points off of top 5, I believe, showing you that top 10 is such a close run right now, but Reed's been the one that's clawing his way up, really trying to earn this top 5 placement right now. Looking for the cheeky angle through the window, not going to find it, but this layout is well known to everyone. Yes, the easy single out. Just know where you can go. Oh gosh, no hesitation. The big shot there.
It's getting repetitive at this point, but nobody's found the recipe to actually stop it. Okay, a fight at the vault. Epic Whale this time has a challenge. Yeah. It's Furious, but we've seen this situation before, and Epic Whale completely dominated. He's got the wall now. Furious is left on a stair. He's going to edit it so hard that Furious won't do this, but he launches it forward. Oh my goodness, a big mistake. It seemed like a sound play for a second, but until Furious comes flying out of the vault with a burst SMG, all of a sudden you're questioning while you're sitting back in the lobby, like, what just happened to me? I thought I was 5 head.
It was good until you had that controller in your face. That's the rough one. It was Furious. Hit every shot. You think about the DPS on that rapid fire SMG, it is ridiculous. That will melt you. But all right, Reed already in another situation here. Over at Lazy goes for, he actually waited for that. He knew it was gonna happen. He wanted that to happen. He wins that exchange, walks through him, and now he's on the advantage. Throws the ramp down, it's his. He tries to go for it, no, but Wall actually reads the shockwave exit and hits the shot. Finally, a counter to Reed.
Can we get a replay of that from DeWall's perspective? Because that flick was ridiculous. To predict the shockwave launcher, yeah, you could have seen it in his inventory. But then to hit it as he's placing a wall before that happens, that is very nice stuff. Another fight, though. Jacob obviously chasing down the shockwave launcher, but he'll get away. Skittles is W King of his own, and he gets the player white on the backside. A stink thrown. Does some self-damage. No. Skittles is actually going into that. He just wasted so much HP.
And don't forget those sound indicators, those markers, that is going to be heard loud and clear. Skittles now not looking too good here. How many crash pads did he throw down though? He threw like 3, 4, or 5. He still has 6 in the inventory, so pretty loaded up right here. Now running to heal. A couple extra minis picked up along the process. Keekski here now. Oh, back at it again into the box. Another shotgun shot, another white shot too, and the counter edit back. That seems to be the best play, to step out, make the edit, and then try to punish while they're boxed inside of your spacing. Arkham, though, doing that famous rotate here, Bala.
Yep. Shades of stretch in game 8 of NA East Grand Finals. This is what this rotate feels like right now. From the bottom of the map all the way up to the corner, sitting on top of Grotto. The battles we've seen here, the battle's long gone. And Arkham feels that way for this tournament right now. Look at how few people are around him. By the way, I mentioned Mr. Savage falling to Scented in the DreamHack Anaheim contest. It was basically at that spot, maybe a little bit further south in the mountains. But in this case, there's nobody here. Look at this from 40-yard storm. He's hiding. Fatch is going to run into him.
He charged up just a little bit there. That's a 96 for the entry. Good wall grab there by 40 yards. Not going to find anything. The Chug Splash, though, is going to give the advantage back into the favor of Thatch. You had hype for a second, but no, not before 40 yard takes advantage here. Tag here is going to play in his favor, too. Remember, he does have crash pads. Yes, he can close this. Another hip fire is going to connect there. Now Thatch, nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. Looks for the crash pad entry. Nothing just yet. The boost in and expected from Thatch, but it's not going to be enough. He was too weak.
So interesting now that these crash pads are in the game months and months and months, maybe a year after we've all discovered how to use the ramp to phase into boxes, but it gives you a free guaranteed way pretty much to do it unless you miss the toss. Now everybody employing it just makes you so much more defensive when a player approaches you on a box fight. 40-yard storm takes advantage of it, and we'll find an E-limp onto Fatch. Fatch has been struggling today in fights just like those.
The toughest part, though, is the tracking, right? And they come in disrupting you, disrupting the build. You don't know who grabs what. And Jay was doing so great at the start of the competition. He really fizzled out. 111 points now. Still looking to claw his way up, though. Make the best of the situation. Still money to be had, guys. Let's not forget, prizing is up for grabs across a multitude of placements here. So all of these are expensive engagements this late in the competition. But all right. Dwal now on the run. Oof. One shot away from getting taken out.
He's going to get taken out in brief moment. I mean, everybody just saw that he has the shockwave launched across an open area. Okay, Medusa. Jay makes that shot count, gets an elim, and we'll get the refresh too. 40-yard storm continues to fight onto Nkuz, who was in the box or in the building not too far away from him moments ago, and now moments later 40-yard storm is now on 2.
Big hit right there. 40 yards looking to cook up. He's running Lazy Lake at the current moment. 2 more players are out here. Let's see how he's going to play it.
You can kind of tell who is still looking to try to boost themselves and skyrocket themselves up the leaderboards and up the standings for a big piece of the pie. Because players like 40-yard storm, players like Reet, even though he fell in this game, are taking the risks. They're getting desperate, and they're trying to close the gap between them and the top players. Some of those gaps may be impossible to close, but anything, at least up to basically 3rd place right now, could be up for grabs for a player like 40-yard storm with his 205 points, sitting slightly outside the top 15.
He's looking to do it again. He had a pretty sneaky play onto Fast, waiting behind some builds, and now he's hiding in the shack here, trying to see if anyone's going to dare to open the door and explore inside. 2 players here. Chances are still high. You never know how it's going to go out. I'm assuming that Brett is probably going to take a couple shots off, and 40-yard might look to sneak up on the builds. We'll see how that plays out. Here's Arkram, though. Big rotate. We already know he took the outskirts, and now again those surprise fights that he takes in those mid games. You'd think that he wouldn't be doing it. He's playing passive, but no, he can just best players too. Tavern made it look so easy for Arkram.
Tavern, a player who's way up there, 17th place, will end up getting boxed like a flopper, but Godku's in here too. I don't think this is the guy you want to engage with, especially not after seeing his name in the feed. Taking out one of the big names on NA West. Here we go, though. He does take the fight. He will get close to Godku. Arkram will start to control, and he will get the mats. Look how he's prioritizing things right now. He doesn't care about Godku in front of him. He takes what he needs to take, and then goes for the mat so he can build out extra space in this base before moving into zone. Notably in his inventory monster, a lack of crash pads. That has been his key rotation item game after game after he uses that guaranteed launch pad from Rickety Rig. This time, peppers.
We're gonna see him put some different strategy to play, but I think even just that in its own, the peppers are grossly underrated right now, and so how you can use them and what you can do with it. Couple that with the launch pads here, I think Arkham still has a few zones in front of him for sure. Dwall on 11 HP, still running here. You're seeing the strength. And no, that was his last build. He's in the cone,
Okay.
a wood cone, by the way.
Let's do this, Dwall. Let's see if you can actually make it out of this. I recall specifically a moment just like this at ESL Katowice.
Oh no.
There's no chance of the player surviving, but he puts himself in a cone and lasts pretty much until top 10, clutches up by himself in a duo competition too. But people know he's in this cone, by the way, because it's full wood. All they need to do is look at it.
What if?
What if? Also, I remember clearly Zexro, when he first started really doing well around Winter Royale in a series of custom tests. He came out with something like 4 wins out of 8 or something like that. And the reason was because all game he was hiding in a single cone. That was back when people just discovered that you could hide in cones.
The innovation over the years of Fortnite, even now, subtle, small things, strategies being figured out, edits being optimized.
Dwalfeld, unfortunately. It looks so promising. I was cheering for him, but no, somebody was just fire at his cone to take him out. Mecton now down below Core. Potential for him to find a frag because he heard Core get his shield cracked as he moved in on the rotate. So Mecton will start to aggro a little bit, and he has crash pads if he wants to get in, but he takes the wall. Core will get out though, but at the same time he gets beamed in the back. Not tunneling on the side, which is not something you always do in game, but he gets boxed. He turns it around though, fires one shot off, but Mecton will respond in kind and put him down for an Elam to put him on 249. Things are looking very good for Mecton, who now stands in 4th place, slightly behind Epic Whale, who we know is down in this game right here. The difference in points before that was around 29, so doable for him to overtake Epic Whale.
Not gonna lie, that was nice. That was real clean the way that all played out. Here though, things are intensifying for Arkham as he's trying to figure out his next move here on the rotate. Wild Fox is doing pretty decent. He had a bad last game. You can see his points being put on pause. He was climbing up so fast. But all right, trying to figure this one out as well. He's got to move south, not too far, as does Triggy. See Frappi still in the game. Frappi's got a good position on the zone here. He's got the mountain right next to him that he can start to work out and around and get to zone first. Yes, he's already off to it. Acorn getting tagged up in the process. Unreal's going to be following in on Frappi's pathing here.
And we were pointing out to a potential issue in the edge zone mentality that Arkham had in the first 6 games. And I think we just went right into that same recipe for Arkham to struggle a little bit. Why? Because we have the most central of central zones on the map right now. And Arkham is not in that 4th zone at all. He has to make a rotation and spend a lot of materials. We watch Jay Roses pick one up.
Oh,
The backside of Wild Fox. So, man, we were hoping, because like you said, he was rising very fast, but unfortunately will fall outside of placement and add to his very disastrous average placement of 40.30.
down he goes. And just to talk about Arkham, though, I mean, this time around, he has 2 launch pads because of that mid-game frag. I wonder if he's going to burn one on this zone. Wouldn't have been too bad considering how far he had to go and what this zone's looking like, that mountain, but there's barely anyone up on this mountain, so you can tell the pros are just trying to get there and then face up. Midi, though, on the other hand, is going to find himself Kono fanboy. Big one for him now because he needed the materials there. That's going to work out. Jay Roses here has someone outside of his base, but it's all right. He's sitting pretty decent here, too. No medium ammunitions to reload with. That's it. Just 30 in the mag, and he has to cut way across the map with just a crash pad.
It does favor Arkham. It actually pulls directly over that ridge in the center of the map. And I think with the 2 peppers, he probably made that rotate and might even still be lasting. So any edge that he needs to do, he will most likely get in. Meanwhile, Frappi has the complete opposite story because he's a max distance zone. Sitting right next to Jay Roses right here. What is the path going to look like? And is he going to need to use a community pad?
I mean, this mountain works out for him right now as it stands because there's no one on the other side that can really hold him out besides the guys up there. But hold up, this is an important frag for him to get. He needs these materials because he's got a long rotate to make. And yes, he's going to find him on the hunt here. Let's see now the pickup. So the crash pad comes out and up the mountain he goes. We'll see how that plays out. Frappi, though, is going to pop his pepper. Now he's doing the same here. Does manage to get right behind Jay. He's going to find Jay with a few tags, but not enough. He's just going to keep it going here. Everyone else is crash padding across, and Frappi uses some old builds. Remember, Frappi is Arkham's biggest danger in the tournament so far. We need Frappi to continue to make this tournament a close one.
Oh my God. He's actually contesting very close to where Arkham is. Arkham does not fire down upon him, but if he got even closer, that would have been so interesting. Now we have 2 peaks, essentially. Frappi and Arkham on one, P-God and Litzinio on the other. That will be the duel as 6 Zone reveals which side is going to get it, or is neither.
Oh boy, yeah, this is not looking like it's held up by too much. A few rockets might just dismantle these guys. They're actually hung over the lip of the cliff. And now look at the rockets coming in from multiple angles here. Just try to see what they can get a piece of. This is an all-out war. This is looking like that E3 reveal, the 50 versus 50 on both sides, the epic war against one another.
If only.
Look at that.
Speaking of wars and battles, Arkham and Frappi, both in similar situations. I know you called out the fact that Arkham got 2 launch pads, but Frappi has no mobility, and I think both of them might rely on peppers later on in the game. Little on the backside of the zone, he finds one. Arkham will launch forward. Frappi with 2 HP. This could steal it. This could steal the deal right here. 1 chug splash will bring him up to 22, but he has to survive with the slimmest of margins. Little will find one, by the way. Still keeping tabs on the bottom right of the screen. The most important man right now to threaten Arkham's reign at the top. The king probably sitting somewhere on high ground right now. He cannot tug this zone. 2 ticks, 3 ticks will take him out.
Let's see what he's got, though. He does have that legendary charge. He can do something massive with this, especially with the AR follow-up. Let's see. Pressure's on him to perform right now. And no, he gets tagged one time. It's Midi who takes him out, and that just might secure the deal for Arkham now here, but
he still has to have a performance here, right? He cannot fall in the spot that he did last time, which was essentially right now, but instead he's waiting, biding his time, a crash pad ahead of him. Little still fragging on low ground, which he has to with the 159 points that he has. And Jacob gets in his box. He will challenge and put him down. Little responds with awareness and with quickness.
Finally, Little now cooking up in the end of the competition. He was off to a bad start, but it's looking like he's rallied up the strength to continue on through. The mental fortitude of a pro right here for sure. Midi, though, who dropped Frappi, second place, is now in control of the high ground. Arkham breaks the 400-point threshold, officially making him break new records and reach new heights here at the DreamHack Grand Finals Day. And now Arkham with a single elimination, still plenty of material to work with for what it's worth here, and max health is marching through the low ground. Little still cooking up. FJAA is gonna fall here. The rain continues.
Hot tie up in this game though, and he could actually push up way into the top 5. Arkham though has made another top 8 placements, besting his average once again and increasing that. He's gonna go in a box with dubs, I believe. And Little still fragging with attack, but he gets beamed. And Arkham in a box too, and he will challenge Dubs and say, no, you cannot play on NA West. This is my territory. No challenge at all. A quick reload. and he's back in it. Still a lot of builds to work with too, and a top 6 finish for Arkham once again.
Can he keep doing it though? We still have P-God in here running the muck down on the low ground, and P-God's gonna get tagged up. Sentient goes down to Little, and Little's looking to break 200 points. Let's see. P-God with nothing left in the zone right now. One shot is all he's going to take, and yes, Little finds it as well. He needs the loot here. Yes, he's going to go back in to grab it. Tao Tai making another end game. He's another player that's doing so well here. Let's see. It's Arkham, though, who's on the other side. Arkham, first place, not letting anyone get any free top 10s. Not here. Hello, Little. Meet Arkham once again. First place is here, and he's going to take him out, too. And now 3 eliminations for Arkham. Midi, Taltai is all that remains.
And he got the refresh too, some materials to actually contest if he wants to, but Midi has a shockwave launcher on height, a couple more rockets for that too. Gotta be careful. This is Arkham's Bane. Taltai will drop down, and he will clothesline him. Yes, there is a backup in the replay. We get the shot. Now Midi against Arkham. A battle for the win. Arkham gets launched up a little bit, but not too far. Midi still has some more, trying to fire it out. More mask, can he block? He's just got to block. Yes, he gets it off. Midi still trying. A couple more shots. It's going all the way down, so space for Arkham. He might knock him down. One more in, and still falls. I don't think he has anything left because he drops it and tries to reload. Arkham now 1 build. He cannot block anymore. Still more shockwaves, and he dodges again. A big shot, but he will get finished off. So Arkham is 2nd place, and Midi rises up to 255. That might have sealed the deal, but we still have 1 more game left, and we'll do that after this.
Hey everyone, Kelly Link here, back once again to see if you guys can guess what I'm drawing in Fortnite. So let's go. Did you guess what it is, chat? If you guessed jetpack, you'd be right. I know it doesn't look like one, but through context clues and a little bit of brain power, you might have been able to guess it. All right, I feel like even though this is pretty simple, this is going to be an obvious answer. Why the bottom bun is bigger than the bottom or the top bun, I don't know. But if you guessed a hamburger, you'd be correct. If you guys guessed Bob Ross, then once again, you'd be correct. Congratulations. All right, everyone, those were some of my drawings. Hopefully you were able to guess it, but I know that you want to get back into the action, so don't go anywhere. We have Fortnite coming up real soon. welcome back everyone to the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite. And don't get me wrong, I know you guys want to talk about that amazing art, but instead we're going to be talking about Fortnite, guys, because that's what we're all here for. And what an incredible Game 7. I mean, joining me here we have Balla and Monster D-Face, and guys, we thought in Game 6 that maybe we could see Arkham starting to lose his lead. He went from like a 60-point lead to a 40-point lead, but now he's 112 points ahead of second place. Balla, is this anything that we've ever seen in a Fortnite competition before?
Nope, it's Game 7 that he actually clinches the grand finals record for most points. And 50 points away from 500 is a crazy feat in a lobby that's playing as difficult as this one. I know you guys are thinking right now that Arkham is just fighting against people who are not on his level, and that's true. But the rest of the lobby is dueling like we've never seen before. The stackness of these lobbies is so difficult.
Yeah, just taking a look at the top 20 here right now, we have Arkham obviously in first place, Frappi taking second place, and I'd like to say close, but it's not. He's 112 points behind. NorCal Tautai taking third place, and then we have Bumboy in fourth and Epic Whale in fifth.
Yeah, I just want to give some love to Tautai too, making those end games, man. We haven't got to see too much of his perspective, but the fact that he's been this consistent for Team NorCal, you got to appreciate what he's putting up. And also, Scented, Epic Whale, and who's that Bumble right there? They're in a run for top 4. Like 4th place, 5th, and 6th are all neck and neck right now, trying to do what they can to stay up in that top 4, break into top 3. But the battle for top 10 is ridiculously close right now.
You know, you're talking about battle for top 10, but this is the grand finals. We talk about the battle for first place here to be the champion of the Open here. Balla, what is it possible? Is it even possible for another player besides Arkham to take first place?
If Reet was closer, I'd say yes, but Frappi is not the type of guy to be W King into your box and going for things crazy like that. I think he actually has a safety net. If I'm not mistaken, he was a decent margin ahead of third place. So with that might trigger something out of Frappi. That could be the sign for him to say, okay, if I want to do this, like I have an opportunity not to lose my standing because I'm so far ahead, but I also need to W key, need to get a 10 Elam win and take out Arkham at some point in the game in order to come back from it. So it's possible, but I'd say Frappi might not be the guy to do it sitting in second place right now. If it was Reet, hey, maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot of incredible players that we're seeing here. And of course, congratulations to Mitty for taking the victory royale in game number 7. Let's actually take a quick look at some of the highlights that we got to see in that last game. Of course, Arkham is the player that we're all talking about, but there was some great plays from a lot of other players as well.
That's right. The competition's been cooking so far. We're 7 games deep, approaching this final stretch, the final leg right here. This is probably one of the better or interesting situations that we've seen. This is a repeat performance of Furious being stuck inside of the vault, but the crash pad is going to work against him this time around. That SMG just chewing through him. And now Epic Whale falls. And that's how Epic Whale pretty much loses his lead for second and gives it up into the air. And now it's a battle for top 5 there.
Question about that clip. I mean, it's gone now, but it kind of looked like Epic Whale threw a crash pad in, and then in the air, Furious accidentally launched a crash pad. There's that replay I asked for, by the way. DeWall with the flick onto Reed as he flew out of his box. That was impressive. I would have loved to see that gameplay angle, though.
There's a couple more of those catch-up moments to get you guys all sorted here on the action. Frappi is going to fall here towards the tail end from Mitty, but not before putting up that impressive performance, man. He only had 20 HP on the rotate. We thought, could he pull a J, come out of nowhere and make something big happen? But it's all right. The man of the hour is Arkham. The low ground, battling the shockwave, scrambling for the loot there. He actually found the resources to block it out and made that, you know, a realistic battle for him to possibly win.
He was trying so hard to avoid the shockwave that he expended all his energy and couldn't actually finish the game because of it. But hey, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, speaking of the cookie crumbling, it definitely seems like we can kind of understand how this final game is going to go down here. But still, we do have one more game for the North American West Region Grand Finals, everyone. Don't go anywhere because it's going to be happening right after this quick break.